Okay, so today we are going to look at Loyce. These are the spells I've got attuned. You want to make sure you've got Homeward on, as well as a bunch of Yearns and Dark Weapon. You'll need the full control for a later section, so it's not actually needed for this first part. And the first thing you're going to do is you've got this one enemy to deal with here. You can just Yearn straight up, and he'll go for that. These enemies do have a ranged attack, so you've got to be careful he doesn't do that while you're standing next to him. Next Yearn goes to the side here. Wait for this guy to come through. And then run straight past. I only did 2 Yearns there, but you can do 1 in the middle, just to be extra safe. There's a bunch of dogs and stuff there, so you have to run along the left-hand side of the wall to keep out of range. And there's one dude that will shoot you, but again, just ignore it. This big open courtyard area has a bunch of enemies. That one enemy that's standing under the bridge that you can see there will do a sort of scripted attack every time. So the first attack he will probably not go for Yearn. So if we Yearn up, he will go for me rather than the Yearn. As demonstrated. He will, however, shoot the Yearn from the second one. This enemy on the left above me, this one also does an attack straight at me rather than the Yearn. But you can quite easily just dodge around everything there. Now, this is where you need Dark Weapon on. We'll throw one more Yearn out, just to make sure. And then we're going to do one last one here. And we're going to roll through these barrels twice. And then an R2 kill the dog. That's why you need Dark Weapon. I believe it's just not enough damage without Dark Weapon. But it depends on your levels and other stuff, obviously. One more Yearn here. Again, just make sure that you're not throwing it sort of on the path between the two of you. And we're at the second bonfire. Light that bitch up. Get your Yearns back. And keep on tracking. This first enemy will do some sort of attack that you can just strafe around, but they do also go to Yearns, so again, just spam it. This enemy that's at the top of the bridge here, top of the stairs, sorry, will also shoot me rather than shooting the Yearn. So you've got to be careful of that. Okay, he normally attacks me. 9 times out of 10. I don't know why he didn't this time. And then you've got the big guy. Again, just make sure you're not near your Yearns or in line with the enemies. Another big guy at the top here. Keep him preoccupied. There is a chance for 2 forlorns that we've run past already. One is here, one is sort of in that big open courtyard area. One Yearn here, there is a guy here, be careful of him. This guy can throw stuff, as well as this guy can throw stuff. But with that Yearn, you can just comfortably walk past it. These are Crimson Waters. If you need some extra spell casts, you can grab that. And then we'll be talked by Alsana. That will remind us to put our poison arrows on. And Stone Ring. On this save, I'm using a +10 black bow. And we're just going to kill this guy that's here. Or he's just going to dance around in a circle, one of the two. Oh, I have one shot on. Okay, cool. Well, you just one shot him anyway. Yeah, just poison him. You can loop back a little bit, but just make sure you're peppering him with arrows. Try and get headshots if you can. He does stagger quite easily. I need to turn one shot off now, otherwise I will forget. Through the gate here. There's a bunch of enemies in here, whatever, just like the bonfire. And we're going to go pay a visit to Ava, first boss of the area. We're going to set up our TSR. At this point in the game, you probably have a lightning rapier, depending on what route you're using. Ideally, you want some sort of dark damage for Horsefuck Valley, so it depends on what you're doing. But I will do this fight just nice and quick with this. I don't think I've ever used Brightbug on Ava. I've also got really low stamina for some reason. How much stamina do I have? 32. It's not a lot. It should be at like 50 stamina here. Lucky. This attack you can just stand here. Go down. Don't know why I'm bothering with the souls, like this isn't a recording of strats, but there you are. Then we're going to talk to Alsana to unfreeze the lands. We're going to walk to the second bonfire. And we just start yearning again. So now we are looking to get the garrison ward key. See, this enemy is going to shoot much earlier than it did last time. That's what I wanted to show off. There's the Ring of Binding, whatever it's called here. Ring of Embedded. If you want extra health for any drops, you can get that. But we've got full control, so not needed. Another yarn here. Again, just watch for the guy under the bridge. Even though he's shot there, he may shoot me now. Good. this up. The easiest way is going through here. Just shoot him one time. Wait for him to walk like halfway or whatever. Grab this, home it out. You shouldn't need to sit here again, depending on how many yans you spammed. But now we're going to go and use said garrison wall key. Now, the big knight on the left here also does some weird attacks. So you can yearn there, but he will often not shoot at the yearn. So just be very aware of that. I'll throw a second one there just in case. And we're on our way. Do I have everything I want? Yes, that's cool. So, Horseback Valley, this area differs a lot depending on what weapon you're using. If you want a really, really easy time, you just use the Old Knight Hammer. The enemies are particularly weak to dark, so you can sort of just abuse that a bit. We're going to make sure we've got lightning arrows on because I've got best effective range. You want your best bow, some sort of staff, and that's it. You don't need the chime one for this bit. And again, depending on what weapon you're using, you can have different rings and shit. Obviously, Artisar and Flames are always going to be the best too. You want Planetary Ring on because it's a lot of running. And then if you're using a Rapier, use Leo. If you're not, use Blades. So, I will show, first of all, the Old Knight Hammer route for this. Now, the running path is going to be the same every single time. I'm going to spawn myself in an aged feather as well. Just because I'm probably going to be warping a lot here. So, when you spawn here, you look at the coffin, you see this corner is pointing in this direction, you run like that. And that's it. You don't have to run exactly in this direction, you can be a little bit more right than that, but it's about there. See, perfect. This building is your sort of first marker that you're looking for, and the second marker you're looking for is there's a little guy walking around near an item on the floor. You can see him there in the distance. You're not going to be able to shoot him with a bow from here as much as you try. But you're going to get a snowstorm. Now, I've got my Dark Rapier on, in case I'm getting close enough to that enemy that I have to melee him. He dies in one hit to the rapier or 2 hits to the bow. If you wanted to, you could buff your weapon now to ensure the one shots. It's not really necessary. If you have any, whatever the fuck they're called, the green blossom, you can use those now. I can see that the enemy there is not close enough to melee, so I'm going to switch to my hammer. I'm going to buff my hammer here. And I'm going to wait. Perfect. So, the horse is going to run in from the front here. All you have to do is watch it come in, outspace its attack, and give it 2 R2s. Now, with the enemy on the floor here, you can see his leg sort of goes in this direction. You want to run like that. Just slightly to the right of it. You can unequip the hammer again, and that will increase your stamina regen because you're carrying less. And you're about on track with that. Again, I'm running with really low stamina. 32 is not great. It's doable. And then we're in the next house. What we're looking for here is you can have your dark rapier back on. This pillar here. There's again a couple more enemies to deal with. They are sort of in the direction that corner faces, the top corner. So they're like over here. So that's sort of how I have myself lined up. And then we'll just wait for the snowstorm to end. And then we're running to that body on the floor. It's the same thing again, you can see there's two walking enemies on the right there. They're not going to be close enough to melee them. So I'm going to switch to the hammer again and buff my weapon. He's getting kind of close, which is a bit awkward. But he's kind of slow. So we'll get an R1 after this. Okay, missed. We're going to run in the direction of the shoulder. Here. Now, a strat that I have seen someone do before is throw some yerns before the snowstorm clears there. Following the shoulder takes us a bit wide to the left. You really don't want to aggro this guy over here. He has a huge search AoE as well, so you want to just give him as much space as possible. Come to the back of the house here. Come to the back corner, and just 4 rolls. Will space you really nicely here. I'm going to have my rapier on. I keep calling it dark rapier, but it doesn't matter if you've got dark or lightning at this point. They're both good. And then just wait for the snowstorm to end. Those 4 rolls put you in a position where you can just sit there. And then you're just going to run straight to this little ramp down. Perfect. And then we've got Linzorlan. I like this ring combination for these guys. Now there's a line on the floor here. This line. If you walk over it, he won't do the range attack. So. Good whiff. Okay, this is like the perfect health thing to be at. Focus a bit more punishable. My advice is to not wait too long. This is too long already. If you get into the situation where you've got 2 tigers, just use one to block the other. And then kill him. Now I will show Horselock Valley a couple more times with different weapons. There's 3 different weapons that I would say are feasible or viable for it. And one of them is actually Rapier. So I will do Rapier next. For Rapier, you have to use a Brightbug. So things are a little bit tighter. I'm also going to give myself a bit more endurance, as I should have. Don't know if that worked or not, but we'll run with it. So Rapier's an interesting one. It obviously doesn't stagger at all against the horses, but it does so much damage that they die in. I think it's 2 hits. It's if you have a dark rapier, it's much easier than a lightning rapier. I think lightning rapier needs 3 hits. There we go. I've got my 55 endurance now. These are totally not unreasonable stats in any way either. I also don't have RTSR set up, which is a bit of a fail. So yes, I said you need to use Brightbug, which is true. I'm going to use it here just so I can set up that quickly. This guy's close-ish, so I'm going to actually kill him. Over here. No good attack. I'm going to get the good attack now. Wow, okay, insane. So yes, it dies in 2 hits. Here's my point. You know what? Let's try that again. In a place where I don't have to use Brightbug in a really awkward spot. It's a bit awkward when you do one of these and you're like, oh, this is a viable strat, and then it fails. What I really dislike about this whole area, other than it just being the worst area in the game, is the fact that the snowstorms are sort of random. So you can get ones that range for like 30 seconds or 45, or you know, it's not linear. See how much easier that was with 55 endurance. There she is. 2 hits. The reason why I bright bug at the body is because you want the bright bug to make sure it lasts its next horse as well. And yeah, what I was talking about is you can just like spam yearns here. And when you're getting to this guy, hopefully he's distracted by the ants. Bright bug is still active. If you want to, you can put blades on as well. And then yeah, the same as obviously just the rest. Now, to have a dark rapier here, you'll have needed to go through, like, a bit of the game. So normally you kill Alana before you come here. Alana and Sin. For Alana, you need to have lightning rapier. So if you've got dark rapier here, then you're gonna probably have already had, you probably infused lightning and then had to infuse back. So if you have lightning rapier instead, it looks a bit different. Oh, this heals you as well. That fully heals you, it's crazy. Okay, so I should have buffed the rapier while I was there instead of messing around with my HP. So this is lightning rapier. So with Ring of Blades on, it makes it a 3-shot. Now, it's important that you don't actually walk past here, because otherwise you can get another horse. If you walk even like here, I think you'd spawn a horse. It's quite like tight almost. Twinkling Dynamites. how fast you get the attacks off also has a big impact. So that was both rapiers shown, that's old knight hammer shown. The only other thing is red iron twin blade. So red iron twin blade, normally again you would infuse lightning to start off with. We obviously don't need Leo ring on, so we go blades instead. I'm just going to quickly consult my notes. Do I bright bug? Yes, I do. Cool. So yes, it is still needed a bright bug with red iron blade, but obviously it has a lot larger stagger potential. It is also still heavy, so it'll come off for the time being. Okay, about right. Now, if you've got an enemy that's close but you don't want to waste stamina on the RITB, you can put your rapier here. Just use that. And that is exactly why you use bright bug. So I'll use bright bug for the next one to show you the difference. So obviously that was not quite the two shots. Much easier. And last but not least, it'll just be dark red iron twin blade, and then we can carry on with with actually doing Loyce. actually. I, like, reached the building before the snowstorm cleared. It almost makes you want to run straight away, because it's like, what's the point of waiting? Gotta wait a whole cycle because we're that early. That's like the worst possible timing to buff. But again, we'll do no right bug to start off with. This guy's a bit of an awkward distance away. So now we two-shot even without a bright bug. So realistically, this comes down to, do I want to waste a bright bug here? And all it saves you is the time that it takes to buy a couple of extra infusion things and walk back and forth from Macduff. I think you can all see that the easiest way is doing Old Knight Hammer. You just literally pancake them, they can't do anything about it. But I think RITB is a little bit easier for me. It's a little bit cleaner, a bit faster. We get the weapon anyway, so this bright bug isn't going to make any difference at all if I do R1, so I'm going to try doing a jump attack and see how that works. Yeah, a bit of an awkward distance here on this enemy. I'm kind of glad he aggroed. Let's try and do a jump attack. Cool. It's not worth doing jump attacks, it seems. Okay, so once you return here triumphant from killing the twin cats, you're not going to need RITB at this very second, but what you are going to need is full control and some yerns. I'm going to pop my dark root, whatever the hell it's called. So you want to yearn out here, this guy. Again, just be careful of him doing weird and wonderful attacks. And inside this building here is going to be a chest containing 2 bright bugs, which we do want. I especially want them because I just wasted like 6 bright bugs just in that place alone. Yearn as you go back out. And instead of going left, we're going to carry straight on here. One more yearn for this guy. Get behind him. Full control on. There are enemies on the right here, but they won't hit you if you just run. And then you just run straight off here. With full control, you take no damage. You want to really hug the right-hand side here, right around the dog, which makes it harder for it to path towards you. So you've got like loads of room instead of it snapping at your heels. The first knight is down there. We're not going to get that one straight away. That's what you might think, because that's the normal way of coming here. For Hitless, it's safer to come this way first. So you unlock the shortcut there. And then we come into this area. This area has a few more enemies that shoot you before you can see them, or they can see you, or ignoring yearn or whatever. So I'll show you the strats that I use to avoid being hit by some bullshit. Enemy on the right here, ignore him. You don't need to pop a herb here. So what I do is I just run past, they all do an attack. Yearn, not on the ceiling, but high-ish. Watch for them doing attacks. Throw another one behind you. The enemy on the stairs. If you yearn too high, this guy will stay at the top, which is why I suggested not doing ceiling. You'll see that we've been invaded. One more yearn here. One here. And if you want to be super safe, you can do one here as well, but I don't normally do that one. Then we will have binos on. Just trigger this guy. We're not going to go back that way, we're going to go this way. And you're going to find the invisible door. There is two different ways of doing this. Next section. You can either drop down, run along, and then you just yearn past the big guys, or you can just do this, where you look this way. You need to have some sort of fall damage protection on, I guess. You just look this way, roll out, you land on here, and then you can just drop down to the bonfire. If you don't land that, then there's the two big guys here. You just yearn up, just walk past them, and you just drop off, and then drop back down here. You can yearn as much as you want there as well. It's not needed. And then you're out. And then we're going back to the other night. So the reason we did this was so that we are invaded. This means that we don't get invaded by Donna, who is on the bridge coming up. So there's just one final enemy. You get about this close, throw a yearn up as far as you can go, because it's always funny to watch this guy throw his spear like a million miles. And then, because you've got homeward, you can just get out of here while you're invaded. And that's it. Then we're going on to fight Ivory King. There was something else I wanted to say about this area, though. If you're invaded by that guy, you don't have homeward. You can just run back along the bridge. You go up the elevator. Instead of running towards the bonfire, you go back the way that you came. And if you go as far as physically possible, like put your face up against the wall, you can sort of untrigger the invasion. By just standing there, you hit sort of a box that stops that. You only need that on runs where you don't have homeward, so I'm not gonna demonstrate that unless required. And then we've got Ivory King. So the Ivory King fight itself, you just use rapier. That's what everyone does. It's just normal. But the pre-fight, you have to find what weapon works best for you. It's sort of quite a personal thing. Everyone likes their own strats. I will just talk you through the different weapons that a lot of people use. Spoiler alert, you can see them here. Okay, there is one other weapon that I didn't put in here that a lot of people use. I say a lot of people that I have seen used, which is the Uchigatana. We're gonna go lightning plus 10, I guess. Why not? I will show with low damage on, I guess. Now, I do normally bright bug for this fight, but I'm gonna do it without, just to show. I'll buff my weapon because I like how it looks, I guess. But you want to start the fight with 2 R1s, ideally. Now, the idea of why people like Rapier is because it does so much damage that it kills the enemies in 2 hits. So it's not a good weapon for this in terms of staggering, but you can get 2 attacks off really quickly. So that enemy would be dead. Some people like using the hammer because it does that. You can just pancake enemies and you've not got to worry about their follow-up attacks. The only thing is to keep in mind how many repair powders you have. Next thing is falchion, actually. It's definitely a rarer weapon that I see used, but it has a really nice stagger potential. I think you have to use stone ring with it to make it really effective, though. It's this running R1 attack that's so nice. The problem with weapons that stagger like this, though, is you hit the enemy, and then because they're staggered, they then recover quite quickly afterwards. You sort of cancel their recovery animation like that. And therefore, if you have to roll something in a panic, it can hit you, I guess. The same is true for the Uchi. Got good damage, good stagger, good range. Etc, etc. And then my personal favourites are ITB. This weapon has it all. It has big arcing attacks, it staggers, it does a load of damage. You have it already. It's the perfect weapon for this fight. So really you need to find which weapon suits you best. These are the most common ones. Obviously the other thing people use as well is the bow. Lower damage, but lower risk, in theory. But obviously we're not going to finish the fights on the first attempt here. What I will do now is I will show you how the fight sort of goes. So there's almost a few different stages to this fight. That's how I like to think of it, right? The first stage is the first 3 knights come out. Now, those knights will just stay there. And after you've killed all 3 of those knights, one of your knights will seal the portal closed, the first portal. Now, the problem is, as soon as you kill 1 knight, after a timer expires, then 3 more knights will come out. So what you have to try and do is kill all 3 knights basically at the same time, so that the next round of knights spawn, and then your knight closes it shortly afterwards. So that's sort of like the first wave of enemies, if you will. Now you're left with 2 friendly knights, 2 open portals, and 3 enemies. You can kill one of those enemies immediately, which will leave you with like 2 on 2. Then 2 more will spawn, and then that will basically be it. If you kill them like too fast from there, then you will get more spawn, but you can just really take your time from there. So I'm going to try and demonstrate that. It's not easy to sort of get the exact openings that you want but I will try my damn hardest. So we'll have lightning, RITB, we'll have this on, we'll have the bow, sure, why not, and then I will bright bug buff. Now the first enemy, it will look like I'm trying to kill him. I am not. I don't want the first enemy to die, because as I said, we want the enemies to die as sort of quickly to each other as possible. In fact, you can even like unequip Flins or something maybe, if you want to be a little bit safer on damage. Because 2 attacks takes it quite low, and your friendly knights can finish that off. So we've got one enemy that's really low here, we've got one on half health, and my knights are focusing the pyro. This guy's coming in again, we know that he's the one that's half health. You can outspace most attacks, so this guy's going to finish that guy off. So I'm going to finish him off. Didn't need to do 2 attacks there. And then I'll kill that guy. So now the next round of enemies is spawned. So I'll just chill for a minute, This guy will seal the portal. I will kill this guy as soon as I can. Dodge that. Okay, now you can chill. That was the hard part. Now, another 2 knights will spawn, and you've got a 2v4 situation. I'll just watch a little bit to see what happens. But really, you're just waiting for your second knight to seal the portal now. You can like do some damage if you want, but you don't really want to kill another enemy in this situation. So if you kill another, more will spawn. So he will seal the gate now. When the gate is fully sealed, now you can start chopping enemies down. It's a bit of an awkward fight, no one's really coming to attack me. You will normally be left with 2 pyros at the end, which is a bit awkward. But this is perfect, right? Your last knight's going to seal the portal. And you're just going to clean house. Don't get greedy. Now, Ivory King, I'm not gonna like go into too detail because you do just melt him. The only thing that I want to really point out is there is a timing on your rolling attacks that allow you to sort of free aim. So if you like are locked on, you roll away, and if you do an R1 at the right time, you can sort of bend it how you like it to be. Like that. You can get like a 360 or 180 almost, rather. Ivory King, here he is. Simple showcasing. Like that. Or you can backstep through it. A little bit too greedy there, but it's all good. And that is Loyce. Hope this helped in some regard. And like and subscribe, XD.